Hello, everyone. This is Coach T with Bucket Talk. Hope you're doing well out there. We have Coach Chris Waye with the Tri-State Arsenal, New York. Coach Chris, thanks for coming out today. Appreciate it. We're here at Baseball Heaven at the Memorial Day Tournament. Coach Chris, walk us through the last game that you guys were just in.
Well, we played a good game against a really tough team. They finished first seed in their bracket. It's a back-and-forth game. Tied it up late. We went into the last inning, tied 4-4, and for the first time, I think my team experienced what California rules baseball is, so it's a little bit different, but the boys kept battling. Tough game.
Awesome. Can you walk some of our viewers who may be new to, watching baseball, some parents who are new to travel ball, can you walk them through exactly what California rules is?
So what it is just in this tournament setting, once the time limit expires, you go in the extra innings tie game. What they do is they take your last 3 hitters and put them in a bases-loaded situation with 1 out. So offensively, you're up with 1 out, bases loaded. Defensively, the team's got to try to get out of that inning.
Wow, and both teams get a chance to do it, right?
Both teams get a chance to do it.
So walk us through after your team went up, and I was sitting here watching one of your players, I think, was that a double?
Yes, we actually got a double, and we got a long single that scored 2 runs, yeah.
Fantastic. So after the next team came up, they had 1 out, and your pitcher went and did what?
So just going into that inning, just basically was a simple setup. Like, I knew we were up 4 runs, so we just played the corners in, and we had the middle play back, and just made sure they understand, hey, come back into the corners of the pitcher. We're going to go home to get the force out and the first to get the double play.
Fantastic. So for those of you who may not know, Coach Chris has extensive baseball background. Coach, can you walk us through a little bit of your baseball background, where you started, kind of where you went through in your baseball career?
Yeah, so I started Lower Manhattan, a little young kid running around in the projects. And then from there, as I got older, high school baseball, played at Murray Bertram, left Murray Bertram, went down to Maryland for a couple of years and played ball at Baltimore Community College, Coppin State College. Right. Then came back home to New York and finished at SUNY Old Westbury out here in Long Island.
Fantastic. And Coach Chris, how did you get associated with the Tri-State Arsenal organization? It's a pretty big organization, if I'm correct. That's where Mike Trout came out of.
Yes, the New Jersey side of it. So what happens is our side of it used to be Modus Academy, and then we merged with the New Jersey side of Arsenal. That's where Mike Trout played out of. So they were looking to expand, so now they got a team out here on Long Island. So how I got associated with is a friend of mine that I actually played ball with. His son played here, and he got me to come over, so we've just been here ever since.
Awesome. Coach, a lot of coaches and kids will be watching this, from time to time, hopefully. And how important to you is it in terms of practice versus games? I know there's a big controversy out there with, play more versus practice more. What are your thoughts on that?
Practice more, play less. The game, the thing about baseball that separates it from every other sport is if I'm playing basketball, I can easily just pick up a ball, go to the park, or maybe go in my backyard and put up 500 shots and become a better jump shooter. Football, I can easily go out to a field, grab somebody, run some routes, and work on some footwork things and things like that. Because football is really more about, am I just stronger than you or am I faster than you, right? It's about me imposing my will upon you. Baseball is a skill sport. So with baseball, it's a sport that, yeah, there's a lot of benefit in playing, but to really try to master the game, it's important that you go out and you get a lot of repetition in practice, because that's where you work on the backhand, the forehand, so that when you get into a game, those plays are natural to you and it doesn't feel awkward. So I'm a big advocate for more practice time over playing time.
Coach, that's big. I know a lot of coaches think the opposite. They try to get their kids in 100, 150 games a year, but it sounds like you're more trying to get them fundamentally sound so they can grow as baseball players and be able to play in any environment.
Yeah, that's correct, because you know what, at the younger levels, especially like when you're talking about like 9U, 10U, I would say up until about maybe 14 or 15, from that age group, even up to the professional level, you'll have pro coaches and scouts tell you one of the biggest problems at that level is guys don't understand how to play the game. They have the physical raw tools as far as being able to hit a ball 400 feet, or they might be able to throw a ball 90 miles an hour, but hit a ball down the right or left field foul line, short, double, possible, triple, and hey, set up this cutoff. A lot of guys don't know where to go. So, those are the elements of the game that get worked on in practice that I think at the lower levels is missing from the game now. Because like when I was coming up, you practice twice a week, usually Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? And you worked on cutoffs and relays and like bunt defenses, first and thirds and things like that. But it's just, it's a generational thing, because like now as things have progressed, parents now, the combination of they don't have the time or they don't have the right information, so they'd rather just pay somebody to just, hey, teach my kid. But you can only work on what? Pitching or hitting. Maybe a little catching, So it's not really like I wouldn't say it's anybody's fault. It's more just like the change of the times, sign of the times.
Well, for the young kids that may be out there watching and picking up on this and seeing that your team is starting to have some success, that you've had success in your baseball career, is there any like points of wisdom that you give to a young kid that 8U through 14U in terms of trying to grow as a baseball player?
Yeah, just, you know what? The biggest piece of advice I can give a young player, and this is even just from 8U all the way through, put the work in. Like, don't just show up to practice twice a week for an hour and a half, 2 hours with your coach and take your ground balls, take your swings at practice and think that's enough, right? You got to go home and, like, do your homework. You know, it's like I tell my players all the time, you know, there's players who go to practice to get it right, and then you have players who go to practice not to get it wrong. The difference is this. When you're practicing to get something right, you're doing it for other people, whether it be the coach, mom or dad, because you want to make them happy. It's kind of like being a student in school, right? Why do you study to pass your math test? Because you want to make mom and dad happy. You want something from the toy store, right? But when you practice something not to get it wrong, you're trying to master what you're doing. And that's the difference, right? So if you want to be a good baseball player, you got to master the fundamentals of the game, and then everything else comes natural after that.
Master the fundamentals. That's the word from Coach Chris Waye with the Tri-State Arsenal, New York. Once again, congratulations, Coach. Thanks for coming out today.
Absolutely.
All right.
X.